It was a hot Saturday afternoon in the busy town of Egboma. The streets buzzed with traders shouting prices, bus conductors calling for passengers, and the thick smell of roasted corn and fried bean cake filling the air. But amidst all the noise and rush stood a small wooden kiosk painted in red and blue, with a sign that read, Baba Kayo, the man who sees tomorrow. People came from different parts of the town just to see him. Some called him a prophet, some called him a seer, but most people called him Baba Kayo, the eye of the future. Baba Kayo was a man in his mid-40s with a round belly and a face that always looked half serious, half suspicious. He wore long flowing white robes that brushed the dusty ground, and he had a red scarf tied around his head. His eyes were small and sharp, always moving fast, scanning everyone who entered his little hut. Inside the hut were shelves filled with bottles of colorful liquid, dried leaves tied in bunches, cowries, candles, and strange drawings on the walls. But behind all that show, there was nothing spiritual about Baba Kayo. He was a trickster, a man who made a living from people's fears and desperation. Baba Kayo had grown up poor in a small village. He never went to school, but he was sharp, very sharp. As a child, he noticed how people loved to believe in mysteries and how easily they gave money to anyone who promised them hope. He learned from a fake herbalist who later died in prison. After his master's death, Kayo decided to move to the city and start his own business. He began by pretending to heal people, but when that didn't bring much money, he switched to fortune-telling. He learned how to read faces, body language, and how to guess people's worries from their clothes and expressions. He would look at a woman and say, "You are worried about a man in your life." Or look at a man and say, "You lost money recently." It always worked. People gasped and said, "Yes, Baba, you are powerful." That Saturday afternoon, a woman named Egboma came to his hut. She was a hardworking tailor who had been saving money to open her own shop, but fear held her back. She wanted to know if her future was bright, if her business would succeed. She knelt before Baba Kayo and greeted him respectfully. "Baba, good afternoon, sir. I came for direction," she said. Baba Kayo closed his eyes dramatically and waved his cowries in the air. He hummed, "I see something in your spirit, my daughter. I see light, but the light is being covered by darkness. Someone close to you does not want your progress." Egboma gasped, her eyes wide. "Jesus! Baba, who is it? Tell me, please." Baba Kayo tapped his cowries on the table. "Patience," he said. "The spirits will speak, but first you must make an offering. Bring 7,000 naira for the sacrifice of open doors." Without thinking, Egboma brought out the money. She believed him completely. Baba Kayo collected it with a smile and gave her a bottle of colored water. He said, "Use this to wash your face every morning. In 7 days, your destiny will shine." When she left, Baba Kayo leaned back in his chair and laughed quietly. Fools everywhere, always looking for magic instead of using their brains. That night, he went to a local bar, drank palm wine, and ate pepper soup with meat. He told his friends how many customers he had that day. "They keep coming," he boasted. "Even educated ones. They say they have degrees, but they can't see their own future." One of his friends, a taxi driver named Akin, laughed and said, "Ah, Kayo, you are lucky. People believe anything these days." But among his friends sat a quiet man named Chijioke, who didn't laugh. He looked at Kayo and said, "You should be careful. You are playing with people's lives. One day you will meet someone you can't fool." Kayo laughed louder. Who will that be? Even police respect me. They come to me for help. I give them small fortunes, and they go. Chijioke just shook his head. Remember what I said. Days turned into weeks, and Baba Kayo's fame grew. Women came to ask about husbands, men came about business, students came about exams. His pocket grew fat. He bought a used car and painted it gold. People said he was truly blessed. But everything began to change one rainy afternoon when a strange man came to his hut. The man was tall, dark, and wore a plain shirt with black trousers. He had no jewelry, no necklace, nothing spiritual looking, but his eyes were sharp and steady. "Good day, Baba," he said calmly. Baba Kayo smiled his usual fake smile. "Welcome, my son. The spirits have been expecting you. Sit down." The man sat, watching Baba quietly. Baba Kayo began his usual act. He closed his eyes, shook the cowries, and said, "I see something in your past, my son. You have suffered betrayal. Someone you trusted hurt you." The man smiled faintly. "Really?" "Yes," Kayo said quickly, "and you are facing a big decision in your life, a business matter." The man chuckled. "Interesting. Go on." Kayo's confidence grew. "The spirits say you must bring 15,000 naira for cleansing before your blessing can flow." The man looked him straight in the eyes and said, "Baba Kayo, do you know who I am?" Kayo paused. The spirits didn't reveal that yet. The man reached into his pocket and brought out an ID card. "My name is Inspector Daniel. I'm from the State Criminal Investigation Department. We've been watching you for months." Kayo froze. His hands trembled. The cowries fell from his fingers. Daniel continued, "You've taken money from people, given them fake charms, and lied about their futures. You've caused families to break and people to lose their savings. You are under arrest." Kayo tried to smile. Inspector, wait! Let's talk! Everything can be settled." "Shut up!" Daniel barked. "You think everyone is a fool like your victims? You're coming with me." Outside, 2 other officers entered. They handcuffed Baba Kayo and dragged him out of the hut. The whole market gathered, whispering in shock. Some laughed, others shook their heads. So this was how the great Eye of the Future ended up looking like a frightened goat under the rain. As the police van drove away, Baba Kayo's mind raced. He thought of all the money he had eaten, all the people he had fooled, all the lies he told. For the first time in years, he realized his power had limits. But his story was not over, because in the police cell that night, he met someone who would change everything. Someone who saw him not as a criminal, but as an opportunity. Baba Kayo sat on the cold cement floor of the police cell, his white robe now dirty and torn. The smell of sweat and urine filled the air. He couldn't believe he was here. Just a week ago, people knelt before him. Now he was begging for drinking water. In the corner of the cell sat an old man with gray hair and a calm face. His name was Baba Onu. Everyone in the cell respected him. Some said he used to be a powerful herbalist before his arrest. Others said he was a retired teacher, framed for something he didn't do. When Kayo arrived, Baba Onu had looked at him with knowing eyes. "So, you are the famous fortune teller," he said quietly. Kayo sighed. "Please don't remind me. It's over." But Baba Onu smiled. "Nothing is ever over, my son. Tell me, why did you lie to people?" Kayo hesitated. Because, because people believe lies more than truth. They don't want to hear hard work. They want to hear miracles. The old man nodded slowly. You are right. But your lies destroyed lives. You fed on their fear. You have a gift, but you used it wrongly. Kayo frowned. Gift? Which gift? I only talk. That's your gift, Baba Onu said softly. Your tongue. You know how to talk to people, how to make them believe. You could have been a great teacher or a leader, but you chose the easy road. Kayo was silent. The words sank deep. Days passed. The police continued their investigation. Many of his victims came forward to testify. Some cried, others cursed him. But one woman's tears broke him deeply. It was Egboma, the tailor. She told the police how she gave him her business savings and how she later discovered the holy water was just colored tap water. She lost everything and almost lost her mind. Kayo couldn't look at her face. For the first time, guilt hit him like thunder. When he returned to the cell that night, he sat quietly, thinking. Baba Onu spoke again. You see now? Every lie we tell plants pain in someone's heart. But you can still change. You can make things right, even from here. Make things right? How? I'm finished. The old man leaned closer. When you leave this place, use your tongue to help, not harm. Speak truth. Expose fake prophets like yourself. Tell people that their future is in their hands. Those words stayed in Kayo's heart like a seed. After several weeks, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison for fraud. During his time there, he met real prophets, real prisoners, and real stories of pain. Slowly, he began to change. He started organizing small prayer meetings in the prison yard, not fake ones, but honest talks. He told inmates how greed and lies destroy lives. Some called him Pastor Kayo, others simply Brother Kayo. When he completed his sentence and stepped out of prison, he didn't return to his old hut. The market had replaced it with a shop. His name was forgotten. He found Egboma again. She was now doing better. Someone had helped her restart her tailoring. When she saw him, she turned away, but he knelt down and said, "Please forgive me. I wronged you." She looked at him silently. Then she said, "I forgive you, but remember, no one truly sees tomorrow. Only God does." Kayo nodded, tears in his eyes. "I know that now." Years later, he started a small community center called the Truth House. There, he taught young people about honesty, hard work, and how not to fall for fake fortune tellers. He used his own story as a warning. Whenever people asked him if he still saw visions, he would smile and say, "Yes, I see one vision every day. The vision of people living right." The once fake fortune teller had become a real teacher of truth, and in the heart of Egboma, his name began to mean something new. Not Baba Kayo, the eye of tomorrow, but Kayo, the man who found his own future. The end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting stories.